Hello, everybody. My name is Solomon Ahmad, and today I'll be presenting about my coding language, Eiffel. To begin with, let's talk about some fun facts and the history of Eiffel. So, Eiffel was first developed by Bertrand Myers of Interactive Software Engineering. It was the first compiler delivered in 1986. In 2005, Eiffel became an ISO standard language. The language structure is closely related to Eiffel programming approach. It was originally made available to the general public of October 1986 in an inaugural conference. So some of you may be asking, what is Eiffel? Eiffel is a programming language. It's not just a programming language. Instead, it's a lifecycle framework of development. It supports OOS, object-oriented structure. Eiffel raises the efficiency and reliability of business software well above what is possible with other languages and development tools. No other software development system has ever made to function in such a simple and powerful way. The outcomes of the strategy and designs are staggering. Productivity increases, ownership decreases, the quality improves. So how I learned about Eiffel, I mainly learned about Eiffel from YouTube and researching about it, but to understand Eiffel, we have to understand the flow of execution, syntax, and semantics. We also need logic and working details of how Eiffel compiler works with Eiffel language. We have different types of platforms that we can use to understand Eiffel, like YouTube videos, articles, books, and more information on the internet. So these are just of the links that I used, and you can find a bunch of these online. You just have to type in iPhone and you can find a bunch of resources. You can maybe go to your local library and find some resources. So how popular is it? The popularity of iPhone. iPhone is not a popular language because it's not widely spread and large businesses, IT house, and organizations haven't adopted it widely, and there isn't a lot of user community. In terms of popularity and the amount of resources accessible for learning and development, other programming languages like Java, C, Python, and many more have surpassed iPhone. There is also a licensing issue because free development environments are what people demand. The issue is that these free development environments are produced by huge corporations as auxiliary support for other products. iPhone is a small business owner. There are approximately 10 employees in total, but it's amazing what they are capable of achieving. So what operating system can use Eiffel? Eiffel probability is a quality that developers enjoy. It works with almost every operating system, including Mac OS, Unix, Linux, and Windows. This gives programmers the freedom to preserve existing code while writing new codes for entirely other operating systems. Eiffel has a special tool called Eiffel Studio to support environment, method, and language. Eiffel Studio provides us with different functionality, like we can develop and design any application. Furthermore, we can do deployment and maintenance. We have different built-in features. Lastly, we can easily complete all the phases of software development, including analysis and development. So this is just a code that I found online of Hello World. I provided the link below of where I got it from. This is basically just a Hello World example of Eiffel, and I believe it's pretty easy to understand, but I'd still prefer Java or Python over this. How useful is Eiffel and the limitation it has? So usefulness, despite the fact that Eiffel is an entirely object-oriented language, it offers a open architecture for interacting with external applications written in any other language. For instance, programming machine and operating system level operations in C is possible. To add on, we can develop and design any applications. Afterwards, we can do deployment and maintenance. Continuing on, the limitation, the Eiffel Code Dome provider implication does not support phrasing Eiffel source code to create a code dome tree. In today's edition, there's only code creation and compilation available. the Eiffel Code Dome provider can only produce or compile managed code. This means that snippet members that utilize or define Eiffel external clause cannot be included in the code dome tree that is being built. External methods should be defined in a precompiled library if the system needs access to them. So comparing how different Eiffel is to another coding language. So I have 3 points here. Difficulty, tool, and the full lifecycle framework. So starting off, difficulty. Eiffel is very difficult to learn as compared to other programming language like C, C++, Java, Python, and other coding languages, mainly because of their syntax and coding. The tool, Eiffel has a special tool called Eiffel Studio to support environment, method, and languages, unlike some other programming languages which do not have special tools. Full life cycle framework. Eiffel is a full lifecycle framework for software development and other programming languages or not, some other. How different it is, Java versus Eiffel coding language. Um, so on the left we have Java and we have example of Hello World, and on the right we have Eiffel and we have the same example, but they're two different coding languages. The one on the left is easier to understand, and for most people, they would easily know what it is. And for the right, some people may be confused, and I provided both of the links below. So comparing how similar it is to another language, I have 3 points here: object-oriented programming, fast and secure, and graphics. So the first one, object-oriented programming language, Eiffel supports OOP like other programming languages. It's fast and secure, like other programming languages, and graphics. It has graphics like other programming languages. How similar it is, Java versus Eiffel coding examples. So the one on the left is obviously Java, and the one on the right is Eiffel. And as you can see, they're both using object-oriented programming. Why some companies may use Eiffel? Many businesses select development solution purely because of their competitors are doing so because they ignore other technologies that are merely far better. This approach frequently has negative long-term effects. Companies utilize Eiffel not just for the outcomes, but for the competitive advantage. So these are just some of the companies that use Eiffel. If you want, you can pause the video and take a look at all the companies, but moving on. How can you use Eiffel? Eiffel provides a software engineering environment that is object-oriented. With the help of Microsoft Visual Studio plugin and Eiffel Envision, users may edit, compile, and debug Eiffel applications directly from the IDE. Why I personally do not recommend Eiffel. So this is my opinion. There are multiple reasons why I personally do not recommend Eiffel. To start off, many big companies like Google, Facebook, and Twitter are not using this language, and this is not used in the market. Developers use other well-known languages like Java, Python, and they don't use frameworks, tools, and technology instead of Eiffel. The add-on Eiffel is more difficult compared to other programming languages like Java, C, and more. Lastly, we don't have a large community using Eiffel. What do I think about Eiffel? So, Eiffel has a lot of important features and it's very useful and powerful to build applications. This is very useful for programmers and developers. Another good reason, um, Another good thing about Eiffel is that it has a special tool called Eiffel Studio to support environment, method, and languages. Eiffel Studio provides us with different functionalities, like we can develop and design any applications, then we can do deployment and maintenance. We have different built-in features in this tool. We can easily complete all the phases of software development, including analysis and design. Eiffel is definitely a unique language, but unfortunately, it does not rank high among the newer and more efficient languages. Eiffel is not popular and not used much nowadays, mainly because there is a small community using Eiffel, and Eiffel belongs to a smaller company. It is also difficult to learn as compared to other programming languages like C, C++, Java, Python, and more. However, I do believe that Eiffel has many useful features that can be made better. I think Eiffel lacks some key important features which can help Eiffel be better. In conclusion, Eiffel is a useful language, but it can still be made better. So these are some of the references I found online. And yeah, thank you guys.